So we're back. Full disclosure, we tape 2 shows a day. So we just taped episode 5. So we're in the rhythm. We're in the mood.
So we can remember what we said the first half hour and not repeat it.
Exactly. So here it is, 10 minutes, 5 minutes later after we just taped episode 5. So we're going to pick it up now with episode 6 and your story.
About what?
Right.
About what you were talking about at the end of the show.
When I did a play.
Oh, a play.
Sportscasts.
There was.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a.
All right. Is that in the script? That's in the script? Good. All right, go.
There was a brilliant playwright in Omaha, and his wife was in a bunch of shows and directed a bunch of shows, and he was such a good guy. And he had wrote a play called. No, I can't even think of the name of the thing, but I tried out for it. I shouldn't have tried out. But it was at night, and I got to work. I got to do the sport. But
as
I did.
I tell people, theater's in you. You can't explain it.
And I got the part. And the station never knew that I was in this show.
How'd you pull that off?
I'd get out of the station at 6:30 after the newscast, race out to the venue, get a little makeup on and get in a costume, do the show. 8:30 we're done, fly back to the station, and my trigger line was, "So, what's going on tonight, guys?" And they'd say, "Well, we got so and so and so and so and highlights and so and so." Okay, good. Let's figure it out. That's the way life went.
Right.
And Ross and Merlin and Chapman all still make jokes about it. What have you got for me tonight?
They're good guys. You were lucky. You had a good team.
Oh, lucky as hell I had that job. They turned me down. I saved the letter from Steve Murphy.
Oh yeah,
when I was up in Sioux City.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dave, we don't have anything open in that category. But thank you for your participation.
Well, I've always said, if I saved all the letters, and some of them, they never even sent you a letter. You just never heard from them again. I could have been a rich guy. You got one. I got 1,000.
But mine hurt.
Yeah, well, they all hurt. Because you think you're good. Remember the old days, you'd go to the mailbox. I used to remember it was $2.20, get an envelope, put the tape in with your resume, and you'd have to wait a week because it would get there a week later. And I used to call and just play dumb and say, "Hey, yeah, I'm J.J. Davis. I sent a tape. I just want to make sure you guys got it." And half the time, nobody would pick up the phone. Half the time, I'd say, "Hey, what's the name of your news director? Can I speak to him?" And you know he's standing or she's standing right there. They're going, right? Oh, yeah. Now it's instantaneous.
Yeah, there's no anticipation anymore.
Well, as I always used to say, every time you send one out, there's hope. So you're working your regular job, whatever it is, but you have hope for a number of days. So there's hope, and that keeps you going. Now, it's instantaneous links.
I don't know if I could do it now, with the way the social
media
is.
I don't know if I could either.
I don't feel jealous of young people at all.
No, I think if we were a child of the age, we could do it because we'd be immersed in it. We were raised on it. But because we weren't, and because we're dinosaurs, it's different. You should be able, I think, to have video of everything because it's all out there.
Well, if you want video of something, all you have to do is get online and
correct.
You'll find it.
Correct.
It irritates me when something happens and they tease the video of that thing happening, but you can never find it
well,
on YouTube or anything.
One of my biggest beefs, two of my biggest beefs, I got into sports to cover home runs, touchdowns, RBIs, etc. Now it's police blotters, NIL.
Do you remember when it flipped?
And I didn't get into sports for that.
Do you remember when it flipped?
No.
I can look back. When I was a kid, the athletes never got into trouble. Or at least if they did, nobody knew.
Well, the sports writers were their friends, etc., etc.
And the police, too.
Correct.
But now, you can't do anything.
So I'm like, I don't care if so-and-so was caught with a DUI, because you've got to monitor every college football players' Twitter account, the Huskers. You've got to monitor, and if you miss it, you're dead. And I'm like, come on, man. But it's a big deal today. Whereas back in my day, I just want to go out and cover the feature stories, because to me it's about, and has always been about, the games. It's about the games.
The entertainment, not
correct, and have fun with the games.
Why don't they just have a feature called The Blotter? And tell about everybody, coaches and players. And
but
fans.
here's the thing, Dave. If you don't have it, and the other guy or girl does, you're screwed. That's why I was lucky I went on at 9, because I could watch you guys and see what you had that I didn't have. So then I could get it and act like I knew about it. I'm being honest.
I'll tell you how bad it was, how good it was. 3, 6, and 7. If I called one time and I told, who was it 3 at the time?
Travis?
Oh, no. Before Travis. I got in too late to record the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, remember you had to record it. You had to throw tapes in.
I got there too late to
record it.
And they didn't have a feed on until
after the early newscast.
Yeah.
Right.
So I called over to Channel 3 and I said, can you do me a huge favor, dub me a copy of it? Oh, sure, Dave, no problem. Thank you. And I drove it over to the station, brought it to the front door. I went out, picked up. Thanks. It was on 3/4-inch tape.
3/4 inch tape. I've got stuff now. I'm trying to find to get a 3/4-inch playback machine. It's got my plays on it, but I can't find a place to dub 3/4-inch tape. And my early resume tape from 1978.
I don't know. I don't know where we
Those were the days. Remember, you had to record everything.
Yeah, where we go to find any of that stuff.
Yeah.
There was a whole basement full of it at Channel 6.
Yes.
It's not there anymore.
Well,
the station's not there
plus,
anymore.
Yeah.
It's gone.
What do you think about participation sports?
You mean a ribbon?
Yeah.
I like the competitive nature of it, but I don't like something inside of me that wouldn't put up with that. Other teams taunting.
Oh, it's terrible today.
Just horrible. Not just today, but last 20 years, I wouldn't have.
Well,
if I'd been an athlete, I wouldn't.
As us older people like to say, kids have no respect anymore.
Well,
every play a guy or girl makes, whether it be any sport, it's all about them. The old adage, act like you've been there before, forget it. It's all about them. And now you see tempers flaring more. It's just gotten, because a general statement could not be right in all the cases. Athletes today have been entitled, and they probably were back then too, their whole lives. So they're used to getting everything. And now, if they don't get their way,
now they're gone. When did it change?
You've asked me that. I don't know. I just know that it's different today. But I can also tell you from experience, when it's your kid, things do change. How many events have we covered? Thousands. Where you look at the parents and you go, I'm never going to be one of them. Well, I had a daughter who played soccer. And guess what? I turned into one of them. I was yelling, screaming, the coach, it's the coach, Something happens when it's your child.
Or grandchild.
But on a much broader scale, I do think, how many times have coaches told us high school kids should play all the sports? Remember the big three used to be football, basketball, and baseball. Now, it's specialized. Kids will focus on one sport. They'll get specific training, etc. It's 365, 24/7. Something's lost. Some people will say.
You want to get stronger, my coach would say.
Something's lost.
Get on the wrestling team.
I wrestled. Hated it.
That'll make you strong, though.
I suck.
It hurts like hell when you get
yes.
hit in the nose.
We used to call it seeing the lights. Did you wrestle?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. You did?
Who was the linebacker for the Bears? His brother was the wrestling coach at Evanston High School. He was about 5'2", 5'3". And
for the Bears?
No, his brother, the wrestling coach. And he weighed about 220 pounds. And he looked like a hairy bowling ball. And that's exactly the way you wrestle. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Wow. Wrestling, I've covered it in Iowa, as you know, in Nebraska. I think you have to be, got to fall out of the womb a wrestler. You got to wrestle since you're a little kid. You can't just
You
jump
gotta
into
be,
that.
that's the kind of strength, farm strength we used to
But
call
I
it.
also think wrestlers are a different breed. They're special. They're different.
They know they're going to get hurt. If you're lucky in basketball and football, you don't get hurt much.
Right.
Wrestlers know you're going to get hurt every
Or they know
match
that they're
you
going to
have.
walk away sweating profusely and with a
Bleeding.
cut or bruises.
Sure,
So I do respect wrestlers a lot.
I do too.
Because they're a special breed. And I wrestled in high school and I was terrible, but I gained respect for that sport. I gained respect for all the sports. The athletes, as you agree, were so specialized. They're so much bigger, stronger, faster today, but I still think it's me more so now than ever. And I think society's at fault for that because we all tell them how great they are. We all celebrate them from youth to adulthood. So now they're used to that. And man, the money they're making, oh my God.
How do you tell somebody they're wrong when they make more money than you ever
Exactly.
hoped to make?
Exactly. They're making more money in a day than I've seen in well, maybe not you, but I've seen in my whole life.
In the whole athletic department, all the wages together,
Correct.
one kid makes more than that.
Correct. And today's day and age, some of these kids, guys, girls, haven't even played it down, stepped onto the court, stepped into the box, and they're making all this money. They haven't even proved themselves yet.
But it didn't always it wasn't about the money. It was about the
Love of the game.
love of the game and the pride of playing for your school.
Well, I still think it's love of the game, but I just think that, now listen, would you and I take it if we were today? If we were of age? Of course we would. Well, I'd take it. I'm not going to condemn them and say, well, be an old curmudgeon. I take it, but something's lost.
I said something to somebody a couple of months ago. One of the saddest days in a man's life, and I say men not meaning to
Right.
not include women, but the saddest day in a man's life is when he realizes he's never going to be rich. He's always going to work for a living.
You talking about me?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I remember the day I felt that. I do. And I made a lot of money.
But see, Dave,
doing commercials.
you can't give up. See, my thing is, you're 82. I'll be 70 in November. I'm not giving up.
What do you sell one of those years for?
That's a great question.
Somebody 82 years old that had a wonderful career that he absolutely loved.
But see, I look at you and go, you've had a great career.
I know.
But your life's not over.
But what would you trade it for? Would you trade it for 10 years of your life?
No.
I wouldn't.
As difficult and as tough, and I wrote that book, J.J. Block Raven, as tough as my life has been. I mean, Dave, I think I told you this story. I stood on a corner, 54th and 6th Avenue, Midtown Manhattan, 1980. I'm a production assistant for ABC Sports. And I'm going to, I think it was New Orleans, Tulane, Southern Mississippi football in the Superdome. And I'm the PA, production assistant. So I've got to round up talents, monies, information, book hotel rooms, book the conference meeting room,
You had to do all
hire the runners that would put the banners up and all that stuff. And then in the truck during the game, it was my job to build the lower third graphics, 4 rushes, 15 yards. And back then it was the old floppy disks. It wasn't Chiron 4 or whatever. Because I used to do that too. Back in Wilmington, North Carolina, I used to have to put in my own graphics.
Excuse me.
So I go down to 54th and 6th to hail a cab to get to LaGuardia. I forgot some stuff. So I leave all my stuff in the cab.
No.
In the cab, all the monies, the advance monies that we would
I
give
remember
to talent.
hearing about that.
You do not.
No, I do. Somebody said JJ left all of his free trip money in the cab and
So
lost
I left it in the cab, and I said, listen, go around the corner. I'll be right back. Okay? So I go take the elevator up to the 6th floor, Avenue of the Americas, 54th and 6th Avenue. I'm 2320. I don't know what's going on. And again, I look like I'm 18, 14. And it dawns on me when I come back down, because I think I forgot my graphics list or something. And I literally almost start crying as I'm standing there on the corner of 54th and 6th Avenue in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, traffic zipping by like only New York traffic can. And it's nothing back then but a sea of yellow. And I went,
Uh-oh.
he's not coming back. I'm going to get fired. My career is over.
I remember that story.
And guess what? Lo and behold, as God would have it, or some higher power, he pulls up, and I was like, so you talk about luck. And that's just one of my many stories. JJ of Lock Raven, Amazon.com. I'm not pushing it. I don't do an audiobook. It costs money. But yeah, I've got a lot of stories.
Sports people have a tendency when they're younger to, shall we say, drink and wager on sporting events.
I never drank. Never will.
Did you wager on sporting
No.
events?
Because me, everything's in excess. So if I started, I'd go crazy. So I just don't do it.
We'd go to a bowl trip and we'd all get together
Yeah.
and get some dinner when we got to the hotel. And somebody would be walking around asking, can I borrow $20? I lost all the meal money that they gave us. These used to turn in receipts. Then
Right.
they started giving you advances.
We used to call it creative accounting.
And they had no money for meals. The photographer, the assistant photographer, and the anchor, no money for meals. So they either had to call back to the station and get another advance.
See, but here's the thing. He had all that help. Most of the time, yours truly, no. Shoot it myself.
That kind of was. You had your
I'm
goals.
just telling the truth. I'm not. It's not a source of pride.
You had your goals, and you paid a price for it.
Well, I paid a heavy price, and again, a lot of it, as you look back in life, it was them. No, it was me.
But it was still exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, keep going. So you'd get monies for the photogs and assistant to eat.
For the other channels, or take them to lunch, or take them to dinner.
See, but that's the beauty of Dave Weber.
Because they're not going to call back to the station and tell them they lost all their money at the casino at the airport.
See,
No.
that's the beauty of you.
Well, McKnight never paid for a meal.
He's in the Omaha Press Club Hall of Fame. Leave him alone.
There was a Culver's down in Lincoln.
Oh, here
on
we
the way
go.
back
Story time with Dave Weber.
on the way back from the ball games on Whatchamajigger Avenue that turned into the interstate. And we'd always stop at the Culver's and get a couple of hamburgers and some fries and eat on the way back in the car. And Mikey, Merlin, whoever went down with us. And I remember Mikey goes in, he's looking, what are you going to get, Mike? I'll have a number 2. And if he had that schwa at the end of his voice, a number 2, the next word was and I'd say, get a number 2. And we laughed. We do that bit every restaurant we'd go in for the next 20 years. I'm going to have a number 2, and it never got and out, never hit the D. We'd all say, shut up, Mikey.
So, let me ask you this. What do you do now that it's all over?
Nothing. I mean, I still do fun things. I think a lot of the fun I have is hanging out at Shirley's. I really do.
Really?
I get to talk to people that come up and put their hand on my shoulder and say, God, I loved watching you on TV. You were so, I never knew what you were going to say next. I know, neither did I.
Right.
And it was enjoyable, and enough people.
Do you think you made a difference?
Yeah, I do. I think the people, the personalities we had on at the time was the difference between us and Seven. Seven's number 1 now and everything.
But it was 6 back then.
It was 6, yeah. That extra hour of broadcasting after the '94 win
Right.
that we got from NBC, we got an extra hour on the
You
satellite.
told me that.
That cemented us. We owned the '80s, half the '80s and all of the '90s.
If you had to do it all over again, your life, the military, right, the Air Force, walking into K-Meg and getting a gig when you totally didn't expect it.
Folk singing.
Folk singing. The character that you played up at K. Would you do it all again?
Absolutely.
What do you think of the work ethic of people today? Work ethic.
You know, that's funny because I don't know enough about the people today
Yeah, I don't either.
to say anything about
Yeah,
their work
anything
ethic.
we say would be general, and it wouldn't be.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know
Yeah.
what their attitude. I knew what my attitude was. If it's fun, it works. If it's not fun, somebody died.
Yeah, but a lot of stations, if it bleeds, it leads. You
Oh,
know that.
shtick. That's when our one news director about 20 years ago said, "We're not going to do shtick here, Weber." I go, "Shtick? You think this is shtick?
Yeah,
This is real life, pal."
right.
Called him pal.
And what happened?
You never talked to him.
Well, I always felt
never
like
talked to me
I always
again.
felt like I was older than the news directors. So I always felt like if I talked to a news director, they would be a little intimidated or be influenced in this just because I was older.
But you could weasel around and get the things you
No,
want.
no, I'll never forget. Creighton makes the NCAA basketball tournament. Back then, not with Coach Mack, but back then with Dana and all, it was more of a big deal just to get into the NCAA tournament. Now it's expected. They get past the first weekend. It's not a big of shock. But back then, remember, if they got in, that was a big deal. And if they could win one game, that was a big deal. Of course, it's all changed now. Creighton gets in. Sunday selection show. I call my news director that night. Listen, here's what I would recommend. And to be honest, I'm not sure how I said it, but something to that effect. We leave Wednesday. They'll practice Thursday. They play Friday. I'd looked up flights and all that. The news director says to me, "I know sports too, JJ." I looked at my wife and I said, "We're in trouble." I think that I probably was a little overdoing it, a little assertive, and this particular person, whom I think I was older than, didn't like the fact that I was kind of dictating, here's what I think, as the sports director, we should do.
That happens.
So, needless to say, my relationship, it wasn't as good as it could or should have been.
We had a news director came into work. I can't remember how many we had. We had some good ones. I mean, from the beginning, Steve Murphy, John Clark, good guys, and they knew the business. But after that, it was kind of hit and miss with reporters and assignment editors.
Yeah,
and
it
all that
is.
stuff.
You never really know until you get there.
No, you never know what a person who's now your manager, what their values are
Right.
in the business, and
Right.
if they don't coincide with yours, guess who's going to change?
Exactly. And I had a baseball coach once tell me, he's now at Western Kentucky. He's the head guy. It's different, JJ, when you're sitting on the other side of the desk. Agree?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right.
You've got the budget. You've got the
Right.
obviously a background in journalism,
Right.
and you're a journalist, sportscaster.
I'm not a journalist.
I wasn't a journalist.
No.
You can believe me.
And
when
I used to
tell you.
say that I'm not a journalist. Yeah, I broke a couple of stories. I wasn't even trying, but it was just about the scores and the home runs and I'm not a
Then you don't have
journalist.
to break a story to be a journalist.
No,
You have to know how to write.
no, right.
And
But you need to, I used to say make love to the camera, Dave. Don't talk at the camera, talk to the camera.
I
Make love to
dated cameras. Are you kidding?
it. What was the white balance? Was it? No, sorry.
I had fathers of cameras who got angry with me for the way I treated their daughters.
Because, well, I'm not going to jump. I can't. But anyway.
Now, we don't, we had paper prompter.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, but then we got prompter over the screen, over the lens. And you
Yeah.
could look at the lens and read
Yeah. Well,
If
we
you-
talked about that.
if you could do it. Now,
If you could do
now
it.
they don't. Now it's over here and you're looking over here and there's the camera.
Yeah.
It's just,
And you can tell.
It's
As
yeah,
former TV people, you can tell you're like,
it's so stupid.
it's like when people do commercials like Stars and they don't really, they're reading here, but the count, yeah, oh, you can tell.
Or actors, they
Yeah.
have a big cardboard
Yeah,
right in
you
front
can
of the
tell.
person they're talking
You
to.
can tell.
Well, let me think about what I'm going to talk about, and I'll explain it to you. And then so and so. But they got a list of things
Listen.
they're going to say.
Your life is not over. Okay, even though you're 82 and you yearn and you pine for a different time, I do sometimes.
I pine. Do you pine?
No, I never met Pine. In fact, I don't think he was mine. But anyway, your life matters. Okay, and I still feel like I haven't even started yet, and I'm approaching 70, and you are still missing those days. You still matter. You got so much to do. You've done so much already.
Yeah.
You got to believe in that. That's what I tell people all the time. I went to an audition, you'll love this, Saturday night, and I stunk. I'd rehearsed it, practiced it, knew the song. I'm not Dave Weber. And I was ready. But when I got there, I got kind of out of my game. I started goofing around, being JJ, and then I went in, and you know how your voice talks to you when I'm actually singing the song, and in my mind I'm going, man, you can do better than that. But I just let my nerves get the best of me. So I did okay. But I walked out thinking, God, I blew it. But there'll be another one. You got to bounce back.
John Prine had a great song called In Spite of Ourselves.
Right. Right.
Exactly. In spite of myself, I was successful.
The next day, a guy comes up to me in the store, and I'm feeling down and out, and he says, don't I know you? Didn't you work the College World Series as a handheld guy? And I said to my wife, isn't that weird that this shit always happens after I have a disappointment? God is there, or there's a higher something to remind me that I matter and it's okay.
It
Pick your chance. Yes, it
balances. It really does. You can take all the complaints you want and all the congratulations you want and just go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And if it balances out.
And in the end, I always say, life seems to work out, and my favorite line is, moving on. You just move on to the next one. You take the blow. Life's hard. It's not easy. No one goes unbeaten, right, Dave?
No, you lose eventually.
No one goes unbeaten. So you take the blow, you learn from it, and you move on.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about Nebraska basketball.
Right.
Bless your hearts, you won these games. You made Kent Pavelka cry on TV.
That's right.
But don't count on tomorrow winning, because tomorrow's tomorrow.
Correct.
And you're going to eventually lose.
But enjoy today. And
yeah.
We're out of time. The light's flashing. Well, I've certainly...
Can we go any further?
No, we can't. I've certainly enjoyed this. Episode 6 of Life Lessons with Dave and JJ. And yeah, we harped a lot on our careers. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe you haven't. Maybe next time.
Maybe, baby.